Good morning. Today we are going to be discussing an ABLLS-R that was performed on student Tom K. The ABLLS-R stands for the Assessment of Basic Language and Learning Skills Revised. It was originally revised in 2006, which just included different task assessments and sequencing for what was previously just ABLLS. The ABLLS-R is usually conducted for students that have autism or other learning disabilities or developmental delays. It's used to develop programs or curriculum to best address areas of needed growth. This means that we can see an accurate depiction of what the student has already mastered, the student already knows, versus what the student still needs to work on in order to be on grade level or age level, essentially. The ABLLS-R focuses on 25 different skills in the areas of language, social interaction, self-help, academic, and motor skills. For today, we are specifically looking at the results of Tom's receptive language. Here's a chart of what a basic ABLLS looks like. This is not everything, this is just a sampling. So you can see here, there we go. The boxes that are filled in blue, you can look at this one, this little guy right here. It's probably the easiest one to look at. This is spontaneous vocalizations. So over here where it says spontaneous vocalizations, you can see the ones that are completely filled in blue are the parts that Tom has already mastered and reached the level that he needs to be at. Up here at the top one, you can see that he still has not made any progress in this goal. And down here you can see that he's progressing towards mastering that goal. An area of weakness, just to compare, would be the intraverbals, where you can see a lot of white spots here. Very limited skills. As you can tell, there's only a couple areas that are completely filled in and only some that are either just being introduced. Sometimes if nothing is completed at all, we just consider this being a not introduced skill, and we just haven't brought it in front of Tom yet. So today for receptive language, row C, all the way up and down, you can see there's a lot of good skills here. There's a lot of things that are already 100% completed, meaning he's mastered out that completely. There's a lot of things that are also progressing appropriately, things that are halfway done, things that are just about there, and then there's very few and far between where Tom has made no progress or the skill has not been introduced just yet. So, looking at his receptive language, we can come up with a chart of strengths and areas to improve. When speaking to a parent, you always want to use child first language. So instead of saying strengths and weaknesses, we say areas to improve. This way it's something that's either already being introduced and we just need a little bit more work on it, or something that we haven't introduced yet, so therefore it's not going to be a strength just yet. So based on this, Tom has a lot of strengths in following directions, choosing items in an array, body part identification. Where Tom really shined was environmental sounds and community helpers, which shows that he is active in his community. He knows what his community sounds like, looks like, the people that work in it, which is very good for social interaction. Tom was also very good at somebody asking him to go give an item to somebody else, taking an item from somebody, going up to different people, and following those multi-step directions. So the areas that he needs to improve on are new common object identification, so if something that he's not familiar with, new skills, new selection skills, so same thing, something he's not familiar with, just introducing those new skills. He might have some basic knowledge, but introducing the new ones. Selecting objects that have association, feature, or class in similar items. So if you have two erasers, one's pink, one's blue, he's just going to pick an eraser, even if you say pick the blue eraser. Locating objects from parts of objects. So if you have a large picture and there's a billboard and you say find the billboard, okay, now find the letter A in the billboard. Tom can find the billboard, but he might not be able to find the letter A in the billboard satisfactorily to the ABLLS requirements. Also, when you look at this too, it's always nice for parents to see that the strengths outnumber the areas to improve. Again, just that child's first language of, even though necessarily point by point it might not be more, the illusion that it is more always makes parents feel better. And same thing over here, down on overall themes. So these are the specific skills, and this is just an overarching area of what to focus on. So again, the strengths look longer than the areas to improve. So again, for Tom, the overall things that he needs to improve on are identifying objects when given two descriptive terms. So instead of finding the blue eraser, we want him to find the small blue eraser. So that's an area that he should be focusing on more in his sessions. Identify situations when given two descriptive terms. So if it's, find the picture that shows a girl holding a yo-yo and a boy holding the jacks. So two different things in that picture. Also, Tom had difficulty identifying people interacting and the situational things. So that's almost like a label actions kind of situation where describe clapping. Show me the picture of clapping. Also, following directions in quick succession. So he can follow multi-step directions, but only if they're given slowly. So first, go get the pencil. Then, go get the eraser. If it was just go get the pencil, go get the eraser, Tom would struggle. Also, identifying and labeling social interactions. So while he's good labeling emotions, he struggles with identifying the situation. So if you showed him a picture of a boy crying, he can say, sad crying. But if you showed him a scene of a boy who fell down and is holding his knee, he would struggle identifying that is, the boy is sad because. So it's that afterthought of because. Or like what happened to make the boy cry. Again, things that he excels in, labeling things with a single identifying factor, simple two-step directions, environmental sounds, community helpers, identifying emotions, identifying people. So all these things we would use to show his parents his progress. Thank you.